over the Rhine. Welcome back to eTown.
Thank you.
So great to hear you. Karin, you're such a great singer. Linford, you're a great singer too. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
I'm mostly in the trying not to mess it up department. Yeah.
Just beautiful, beautiful singing. And it does take me to a place, whether it's that lonesome stretch of highway in New Mexico, wherever it is. It's beautiful. Great, great songs, great singing. Welcome back. I want to congratulate you also on kind of playing the long game in the world of music and performing and touring, because that's much harder than people think.
It is.
To have a sustainable career in the arts is really hard.
Yeah, I think you got to be a little crazy. I do.
You know, we recorded our very first attempts at songs in the spring of 1989, so a couple of things come to mind. Number one, for a brief moment, we were an 80s band. And if you're willing to do the math, that means we are marking year 30 of this labor of love. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. There are paths that you could have taken that would have probably led you astray, because it seems like all throughout this time, obviously we all want to be successful, we want to have people like our music, buy our tickets, buy our records, but you really focused on the craft of making music together, or writing songs and making that your focus. And so when you do that, whatever else happens is kind of like gravy in a way, right? I mean, you still have to eat.
Well, yeah.
You have to buy the meal before you have just the gravy.
Yes, it's true.
Gravy every once in a while isn't so bad, but but yeah, we've had a couple of really good mentors along the way, and I remember hearing, I think it might have even been Tony Bennett say one time that there's a couple of things that a young artist or writer can focus on, or questions they can ask. One question is, what must I do to be famous? And he was saying that opens up the artist to any number of destructive forces. A different question is, what must I do to make this sustainable? And Tony Bennett at some point realized he never wanted to have a life without singing. And when he got to that point, he began thinking about sustainability. And that question has always been interesting to us as well, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's great. And every record represents a new challenge to sort of represent that piece of your evolution and your life and the things that have been changing. And in this case, I know you got to work with kind of a dream team killer band, including some of our favorites, Jay Bellerose and Jennifer Condos and Greg Leese. And that's fun. Just doing that is fun, right? When you're done making the record, it's like, wow, that was great.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible, and we don't take that for granted. And I think that's part of the puzzle, though, is I think Linford and I we have a little bit of an achiever thing in us, and we want to improve, and when you get to work with people like that, you're so busy taking notes and just drinking it in, that it's so inspiring. You walk away with, okay, I'm ready for the next. Let's do another one.
I think that's true of anybody in any craft or any art form or any sort of serious endeavor. There's always room to improve. There's always opportunities to get better, and you are always exposed to people who are geniuses and great at what they do. And so it's this lovely thing where you're both inspired and sort of like destroyed. It's like, okay, that was really great. Now I'll quit.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, that was amazing. I'm never doing that again. Yeah.
And this record, Love and Revelation, it's more than just wistfulness in it. There's some real sense of loss in the records, like a theme.
Yes, it's true.
We've all lost friends along the way. We've lived long enough to be able to say that. Is that fair to say that that's a thread running through the record?
It absolutely is, and I still write to discover and to reveal, and I often don't know where the song is leading me until I'm partway down the road, and oftentimes the song will change its meaning as the road goes along, which I had that happen with with one of the songs on the record. I wrote a song called Given Road. I was grieving a very different situation, and then as my mother passed away not long ago, it became about her.
Yeah.
So now I sing that for her when I sing that in concert. So it's a living thing, I think, a song.
And what's cool, I mean, I have to say, you're working in both as songwriters and artists who are touring and traveling, but also with the work you're doing at home to create a community. And in some ways, when you write about these things, anyone else who's experienced those emotions or those losses, those tragedies, suddenly feels a kinship and a camaraderie with you and a connection to both you as songwriters and artists. And I'm sure you hear it when you go perform. Somebody says, "Oh my God, this song got me through a really tough period of time," or "I can't believe you felt the same way I did about this stuff."
Yeah.
As opposed to bluegrass songs, which are mostly about nothing.
That's not true. That's not true.
Okay, it's different. It's different.
We all need the bluegrass to cheer us up. Yeah.
But yeah, at some point, I think the word fan sort of became irrelevant to what we do, and we just began thinking of the people that had discovered our music as some sort of extended family, really.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of brokenness in that family, like any family, but at least we're together,
Yeah. I have to ask you sort of a personal question, I guess, which is, we are, as I mentioned, experiencing losing friends, people we know.
Yes.
And it seems like more often than ever by their own hand in some cases. And I just don't remember, is it because we're older now and we've lived long enough to have
Right.
that be in our life, or is that a more common thing these days?
That is the question that we live with, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because is it cumulative or is something changing? And
Yeah.
I ask that question every day.
Yeah.
So it might be the Rilke thing where we have to just live with the question and
Right.
learn to enjoy that part of it, or live with it anyway.
Yeah. Hey, in case you just tuned in, you're listening to eTown. I'm here with Karin and Linford from over the Rhine. I think, we talk about you guys being, in the long game of the music world, making a record, being your own record company. Now in an age where we have a generation that doesn't really think you should pay for music. What happens? You're the record company, so do you just make less CDs, or do you just make more vinyl, or what do you do? How do you adjust to a modern paradigm of being vagabond music merchants?
That's a great question.
You jump off the cliff and build your wings on the way down.
Well said. Well, our big Hail Mary is, I think we're trying to become, Nick and Helen. We found an old 1870s barn, and we look at what you've built here, which is just incredible. You're one of the significant musical couples in America. What
Yeah,
you guys have
absolutely.
done over decades. My goodness.
Absolutely.
But we've been taking a few notes, and I don't know if people are going to keep buying CDs or not. So we decided to have a bit of a barn raising, and we're trying to have sort of a creative home base in this beautiful old barn, which feels like standing inside of an old Martin guitar or something when you walk in, and you see all that seasoned wood and some light streaming in, and we've got a little hideaway farm. We've been inviting people to sort of come to us, and we do this festival now once a year, and it is a little bit more about community at this stage of life. So
As it should be, and I mean that's ultimately the whole point, right? That's
It is.
really the whole point. If I'm right, the festival is called Nowhere Else.
Yes.
Is that right?
Nowhere Else Festival. yeah.
Nowhere Else Festival, and people can find out about that on your website. And,
Yes.
And
What are you doing next year?
well, I'm apparently going to be nowhere else. But you're really building a community that's not just about music. You're also inviting artists and poets and other people from different disciplines to come together and create some kind of collaborative experience.
Yeah, we've traveled for 30 years now, and as we've traveled around, we encounter amazing things, amazing people, amazing works of art, and I always want to bring it home and share it with my friends and my family. Oh, Ohio would love this. Ohio needs this, and so we're doing that now.
Yeah.
We're trying.
That's great. That's really great. Well, I mean, I think that it all connects, and it all connects back to the fact that if you make something that's a quality product, that's heartfelt, that comes from a real place, you're touching on emotional experiences that other people can relate to. You're building that, as you say, they're not fans, they're part of a community now that are through your music, part of what you do. And so, yeah, if you get a chance to convene the community from time to time, that's
right.
That's pretty amazing.
It is.
Well, good luck with that. We're going to come out and check out your barn someday.
Please
All
do.
right.
All right. Meanwhile, we
Okay.
got a lot more music. Welcome back, if you would, Over the Rhine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, this is Nick Forster from eTown. If you want to stay up to date with all the performances, interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage, click the subscribe button. Thanks.